Hello there, Skid Rows racing fans. I finally brought this thing out of hibernation. Unfortunately, I've had it sitting where it was for nearly 4 years. Definitely a regrettable decision. So today, I need to get some mousiness out of it. Yeah, there was some ice in it. Had some issues with that, but it fired right up. Well, as much as it ever does, and all that stuff seems to work as good as it ever did. There was some fluid coming out of this axle tube, which looks like it could be an axle seal. However, it was sitting at an angle on the hill it was on, so I think that it just got filled with rainwater over the years it was there. And you know, it did move around a couple times since it had been parked there, but yeah, didn't start it enough. Totally neglected it. Obviously going to do an oil change. Might even do some work on the paint on this thing at some point, because the tarp rubbing on it we had a tarp over the top because the holes that the roll cage goes through, so the cab doesn't seal, and it also leaked since I got it when it had a full cab. So the tarp rubbed through a bunch of paint spots, and the sun did a number on it. Also, it's a rock color, so it's crunched everywhere too, and my prep work from late 2007 when I first painted it, because I painted it like 3 times, wasn't the best. But, you know, it's a rock color, so good to go. I might make some other changes on it too, like stylistically. I don't love my front end look. I don't hate it, but it's not exactly what I was going for, so maybe I'll tune that up a little. Everything's going to be cost effective though, because this thing's basically for sale, so hit me up if you want it. I'm just going to have it for sale and enjoy it while I have it. Try to take it out, you know, once, twice, 10 times, whatever. You'll have a for sale sign in it, but if somebody offers me what I want for it, it's going to go. If not, I guess I'll just have it forever. So first things first, I have some extra parts and an old battery and stuff in there I got to take out, and gonna unbolt these seats and remove the harnesses. I'm going to knock, there's not even that many mouse turds on the seats, but I'm gonna knock those out in the yard far away from my house. And I've got a 9 parts water, 1 part bleach mixture in this spray bottle that was a very great value, and I've got a little test spray spot right there to make sure it doesn't discolor the fabric on the seat. This seat was actually free. The other one I actually paid for. So, gonna do that, and instead of vacuuming it and breathing in more mouse stuff, I'm going to soak these, brush the stuff in, whether it's this or something else, because if this discolors it, that ain't gonna happen. And on the floor, it's gonna be sprayed with that stuff and hosed out. There are some factory drain plugs on the floor because there's no carpet. You can totally see it. Plus, there's some holes for like the seat mounts and everything, as discussed in my other video about this truck. So, gonna get it demoused that way. I'll just wipe off all that with disinfectant stuff, like the stuff I made or whatever. But yeah, it didn't get super mousy, all things considered. You can see some of it there. But, I mean, unfortunately, that's what happens when you neglect your stuff. So, should have sold it probably like 6 years ago, but I didn't. So maybe that'll be a good thing. So I'm actually kind of excited because I've been wanting to, you know, mess with this, and I feel like I need a new project, and this is the oldest project I have, but it's new to me again. So, you know, some of it's definitely shows signs of me having been in quite an earlier learning stage of fabrication, but it all holds up, it all works. I drove it up some rocks before I loaded it on the trailer. I just wanted to keep going. I had to stop myself to be responsible. So I kind of want to go drive it over some stuff. Maybe take it to some sand dunes. We'll see. And in case you're wondering why this thing's going to be for sale, is it's because this is also for sale. Because we have too many things. We have that drift car, and now that we don't live 20 minutes from the track anymore, that one doesn't really make it to the track very often because we take one at a time, and that one's more fun. And That probably would have a hard time towing 2 at a time. I mean, the engine can handle it. The rest I'm a little iffy on. That only fits 1. And then we also have that daily slash commuter and adventure rig slash commuter slash daily. So we just got too much stuff. All right, we got most of the crap out of here except like some drive lines and some other weird axle parts, I think. I actually don't know what that tube is. I'm going to remind myself pretty quick. But it doesn't look like the bleach solution is discoloring the fabric. At least not enough for me to care about. However, this is a little worse than I remembered. So that really sucks. But again, we're going to knock it off outside so I don't get dust of mouse poop in me. Oh, there's some more stuff there. I think they like this side a little better. It was leaned on the hill, this side downhill. But you know, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. It'll all be all right. Definitely gives me the heebie-jeebies. Oh yeah, I still gotta get the more difficult one up there. I'm just making a video about cleaning the mouse shit out of my rig. Figured that's a fun video. Somebody might want to see me clean mouse shit out of my rig. I got a 9/16 deep throat socket. Yeah, because you can probably hardly hear the tunes on the thing. Yeah, this one's got a lot in it. Let's see if they got me in the compartment. No, they left the compartment alone. But yeah, this is where they like to be. And that wet spot's just that bleachy stuff. I was just making sure. Gross. I sprayed some there and let it dry, so I think we're good. I think I can bleach mixture all this stuff. I'm gonna dump this in the yard, far away from the house. Just me right now, not filming a lot because I've been doing some hosing. Yeah, let it like not fully dry but kind of dry, and then that's when I'm gonna vacuum stuff. I've got an old filter in my vacuum, so I'll just throw it away when I'm done. And fun fact, there's these rubber plugs, factory stuff, so they're basically drain plugs, so they work like that anyway. Got that all hosed out too because I had some turds in it. So, oh, I'm still gonna like wipe that with something because they there's a little evidence that they climbed around up there. So hopefully I didn't hose anything I wasn't supposed to hose, you know, electronics and stuff. But we'll see. So these have some of that bleach and water soaking on them. I'm gonna pull them in. I'm gonna wipe them down, the vinyl parts, while that's still soaking, and then I've got a little carpet cleaner thing. And I also have the harnesses. I took those and soaked them with the bleach stuff, hosed them off. But I'll probably run that over them too, just for whatever that's worth. So, you know, Probably not going to film much of that because I'm going to be wearing gloves and, I don't know, just mousy stuff. Probably should have been wearing a mask the whole time, but I don't know, doing more than most people probably would. So, you know, don't want any virus to haunt me. Alright, so a lot of time has passed since any filming's been done, but we got the inside of this thing pretty well demoused, and I have not put the seats back in, which is mostly that, and the harnesses is mostly what I have to do to it. But I do want to paint the interior because I've never done that, and I have to fight my instincts to, my instinct is to redo all of the tube work on here, but I realize that half of me wants to sell this thing, and I just want to go out and enjoy it with a for sale sign in it. If somebody offers me a good amount of money, sure, it might go, but in the meantime, I need to just stay focused, so it's no longer down, and it's just been down out of neglect. But since I have everything out, which isn't that much, but since it's all out, I'm going to do a couple things. As you can see, some stuff has happened. The Miata is gone. We sold it to a loving new home. So we got the dirty E46 in here that needs some love and attention as well. I built this hand railing. So that's another little project. I could maybe make a video about the install if anybody's interested in some non-automotive related content. And so what we're going to do now is there's some holes on the roof and the back of the cab that I want to seal up for water purposes. There's a couple spots I may or may not gusset in there just so there's a little more support if the thing does take a big roll. It has like laid on its side technically twice since all the cage stuff's been on. It's done fine, but I might just add a little something out of some stuff I've laying around if I see fit. So gonna do that, get some paint on the inside, and then it's pretty much ready to take out and abuse again. So now we got some pieces cut. I got some, you know, windows and stuff taken out. Here's kind of what we're doing. I found some thinner material for up here, which is nice because both of these areas it's going to have to curve around. And then back here, still going to use the thick boys. But once this is like hammered into place, there's going to be a little more gap. So I'm going to have to cut at least a couple more of those. And then on these, butt up the ends, it doesn't quite want to make it. Does okay going from the side. There's a little gap there, but I have a bunch of extras of these, so I'm just going to cut a sliver and weld it in there. And this is not really like a structural thing or anything. This is just to cover the holes. So if I cover the holes, keep weather and rodents out, we're good. So now that we got all that stuff welded to a mediocre level, we've got some dips in the roof because I didn't care and I warped all the metal. I hammered it back out a little there, cracked the paint, but don't you worry about that. So we're going to address that. Also, because of the way I built this roll cage, that has been kind of cut out. And I don't like that if this gets some kind of severe impact, it may give it more room to move around because it's not connected there anymore. So made some plates to connect there. Get those welded in, show you what's up. Would probably like to do more stuff to it, but I don't like this roll cage anyway. I just want it to be, you know, safer. And we just want to make this thing work. like it turned out okay. On this side, there wasn't enough metal for the other plug weld or rosette weld hole, but you know, whatever. Still a lot stronger than not having it there. So there it is. Got the glass and panels that are in place of glass back in, and got the seats in. Forgot I had the light clamped on there. And just a steezy paint job. Found some random caulking stuff to fill in where mice were probably getting in. I still should do something about this, because that's probably a spot where mice got in. There's a big hole in the front corner of this. Well, no, it's the front corner of this one. And that was like that when I bought the truck back in 2007, probably because of the stupid body lift that it had. If you can't tell, I don't like body lifts. So now, got everything back together. All I really have to do to take this out again is to change the oil, pretty much, because everything else is pretty much good. But I've got this, what was an old fuel cell mount in my rotary E21 back in the day, and then I put a different fuel cell in it that I built. I'd like to cut that out and then build something that goes up here in this area to hold a cooler, because this held a cooler that I put these things on that I don't own anymore, and I'm not going to buy one like it. So it might make something more universal up here. And then also when you have something back there, it won't get shaken as hard when you're driving through the stuff, because it's on the back, it's you know, not good. So yeah, I might cut that out, might build a thing there. Might throw some limit straps on here, because I do want to take it to the sand. And these wheels and tires are extremely heavy. Like, I can barely move them, honestly. And I've moved a lot of wheels and tires in my day, believe me. And so limit straps so I don't rip the shocks apart, mostly in the front, but probably in the rear if I take it to the sand, or exercise self-control. I'd like to double shear the steering, which I'm not sure if I'd make something that bolts onto here or buy something that bolts onto there and do it that way, or if I want to heat up the knuckles and weld some stuff on. If I do the heat up the knuckles thing, I do not have oxyacetylene, so yeah, I'd have to buy a setup. Maybe somebody's got something used over here. I might be able to just make something to connect those, but I'm thinking double shear would probably be a good move if I was going to take it in the sand, because let's face it, at least the front's coming off the ground if I take it to the sand. So that concludes the Toyota update for now. Hopefully the next update, it'll actually be in action. I'm not going to film change the oil because that's lame, unless something exciting shows itself. But yeah, maybe comment what color scheme I should paint this, because I'm thinking of retiring the brown that's been on here since late 2012, and it's not in good shape. So give it another half-ass paint job, and I've got some ideas. So yeah, comment on what you'd like to see next on it or whatever, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do next to it, which is hopefully drive it. Thanks for watching.